Hello everyone. Till now we have seen how the literacy and definition of adult education has changed over a period. We have seen in pre-independence era the basic literacy, then after independence social education, functional literacy, developmental literacy. Now let's see what is the definition of lifelong learning in the Indian context and how it has been incorporated in adult education program. The learning objectives of this module are explain the concept of lifelong learning and discuss the implementation strategies used for lifelong learning. Globalization has entered in all walks of life. It has created opportunities as well as many challenges. To face these challenges, one needs to improve or improvise the programs implemented in all the nations. Thus, the adult education program has also changed. We have seen in the last module that National Literacy Mission has implemented total literacy campaign to achieve functional literacy. This program has been implemented throughout the country. As a result, the literacy rate has been increased. If you see the census of India and compare in from 1991 to 2001 census, the literacy rate has been increased by 13%. Realizing the new challenges of globalized world, the government of India decided to change its strategy and thus in 2009 the new program Sakshar Bharat program was launched in India. On the International Literacy Day, that is 8 September in 2009, this program was launched and actual implementation started from 2010. It aims to significantly reduce the number of non-literate adults in India and foster an environment within communities that encourages lifelong learning. Government of India has realized that even though the total literacy rate has been increased, but there is a disparity between male and female literacy rate. Hence, Government of India decided to focus on female literacy. The Sakshar Bharat program basically aims at female literacy. It is implemented in the districts where adult female literacy rate is below 50% or it wherever the districts which are affected by left wing extremism irrespective of their literacy rate are also covered in this program. It has been decided to cover 70 million adult non-literates under basic literacy program. As stated earlier, the prime focus is on women including scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, minorities and other disadvantaged groups in rural as well as tribal area. The main objectives of Sakshar Bharat program are to impart functional literacy and numeracy to non-literate and non-numerate adults, enable the non-literate adults to continue their learning beyond basic literacy and acquire equivalency to formal educational system. The other objectives also include imparting non and neo-literate adults relevant skill development programs to improve their earning and living conditions, and to promote a learning society by providing opportunities to neo-literate adults for continuing education. Sakshar Bharat program is totally different than earlier programs. In earlier programs, only one component, basically literacy, was focused. In some of the programs, awareness was also focused. But even though in the main objectives, functionality and skill development was included, but it was always neglected. In Sakshar Bharat program, it was decided to focus on skill development, on vocational education, so that it can help the learners who are attending the classes to improve their economic status. Let us see how the program is being implemented. The curriculum includes basically two parts. First part is core content and second part is locally relevant content. Core content is based on national issues. For example, voting and voting system in India. What is the importance of vote and how one can be responsibly vote for a particular candidate, that was included. Other issues such as environmental issues, small family norms, age at marriage, all these issues are also included in the core content. The locally relevant content was also very important. That is why each state has different curriculum. It is based on locally relevant issues. For example, in Chhattisgarh, the problems of tribal people may be different than in Maharashtra. So, the locally relevant content was basically based on the needs of the neoliterates as well as needs of the illiterate people. In teaching learning material preparation, the focus was given on locally dominant language. The state resource centers of each state are responsible for production of teaching learning material. They have used the common words used in that particular area. The teaching methodology has also different than earlier program. In the Sakshar Bharat program, more use of ICT is done. Most of the centers, they are having projectors, they are having television sets where they can show films to the learners for creating awareness and then bringing action into their day to day life. Thus, the curriculum and teaching methodology is totally different than earlier program. Another very important feature of Sakshar Bharat program is the content is linked to the learner's livelihood and all the socio-cultural realities are taken into consideration. If a state which is having more superstitious beliefs, then for eradication of such superstitious beliefs, lessons are focused on those issues. Some of the states, they might be having health issues, especially women's health, anemia. All these issues are also covered into the curriculum. So many times if you see the curriculum of the Sakshar Bharat program, it is differing from one state to another state. Within the state also, as per the demand of the districts, various additional materials are prepared with the help of state resource centers. The core content in the lessons encourages awareness of values such as democracy and gender equality. Here, more focus is given on gender equality. For example, age at marriage is focused, and what is the importance of legal age. For girls it is 18 years, why it should be 18 years, for boys it is 21 years, why a boy cannot get married officially and legally before he achieves 21 years. All these issues are discussed in the centers. Actual teaching is for 300 hours. Along with basic literacy, other issues are also covered. Especially vocational education and skill development programs are organized. Sakshar Bharat program is implemented through literacy centers, which is usually called as Lok Shiksha Kendra. Lok any people, Shiksha any education and center. So it is for people's education. In the center itself, vocational component is also included. Janashikshan Sansthas, which are voluntary organizations who conduct various skill development programs. With the help of JSS, various vocational training programs are organized at the Lok Shiksha Kendras. Sometimes it is upgradation of the skills and sometimes new skills are also taught to the learners. Then in addition to this skill development program, there is a provision for library. Various books written by various authors Especially for neoliterates to sustain the literacy are given to these libraries, and these libraries are run by the instructor, which is normally known as volunteer teacher. These Lok Shiksha Kendras, which I have already mentioned, that is adult education centers, they are basically located at the village level and they are managed by two preraks. Especially out of these two preraks, one prerak must be a female prerak. It is a compulsory, and the educational qualification for both the preraks is minimum 10th standard. Of course, in certain areas, suppose in tribal area, there is no person with who has passed 10th standard. In interior parts, if there is no person with 10th standard education, then in that case this condition is waived. But usually the preraks are qualified and they are working for the improvement of literacy at the national level. These preraks are local residents because it is very easy for these preraks to create a rapport with the learners. Each volunteer teacher teaches 10 learners. To conclude, I would like to say that literacy program in India has come a long way. It has started with basic education and now it has reached to lifelong learning. Mere literacy means a static thing which nobody is interested. But now lifelong education is very important in the changing world. Globalization has created many needs and one has to update their knowledge. Hence, lifelong learning is important to create a learning society. Thank you.